Please, can we meet you?
Good afternoon. I'm Comr Mfam Asu from Buhari local government area of Kasava State. I'm a member of the All Progressives Congress.
Yes, as a member of the All Progressive Congress, recently we have been aware of the current registration that is taking place, that took place in the APC, where they had to do registration of members. And to a point, we informed that the APC has about 6 million registered voters in the last registration exercise. What's your take on this, and how can you lend your voice into this situation?
Yes, the APC as a party kick off its membership registration and registration exercise across the country. Yes, having such a huge number of members is true. Even at the moment, so many persons have been coming to join the party because of the way the party operates, because the party believes in justice, equity, fairness, and unity, and the party is poised to move Nigeria forward.
Okay, you're talking about a party being operating the principle of fairness, equity, transparency, and what have you. Recently, we have been inundated with the recurring increment in fuel prices. This is one of those issues Nigerians have been clamoring and agitating, that the party and the leadership of the APC in the helm of affairs is not doing well. That during the PDP era, we had fuel price at 87, 97. It wasn't actually increasing above this. But we have had increment in increase in fuel pump price almost for 5 occasions. What could have been the reason for this? If they said the oil revenue, which yes, like I said, if before now there was no increment, so what is actually the reason we have this?
Actually, you see, the major challenge Nigeria as a country is faced with is the fact that we operate in mono economy. We rely 70% on crude oil. And that is why most of us who are experts in finance in the economy have been saying that there is a need for our economy to be diversified. Unfortunately, the poor masses are the ones bearing the brunt of the incessant increment of fuel price. But I think it's for our own good. Because the major challenge we have is that during the 16 years of PDP of plenty, where a barrel of crude oil was sold for up to $120 per barrel, we failed to save for the rainy day. We failed to fix our refineries. And as such today, what we have is the crude oil. We do export it abroad for refining and re-importing it. And it costs the federal government so much. Presently, the NNPC has confirmed that they spend a minimum of 120 billion per month to do that. And you see what that lot of money will go to do if they use that to subsidize the cost of fuel in the country. So we are thinking that with time, the price of fuel could still come down. But first of all, if we can remove the subsidy totally, the money the government spends yearly for subsidy, which runs into about 1.6 trillion, it could be used to fix 4 or 5 refineries. As such, there will not be need for we to be exporting our crude oil abroad for refining and bringing them back. So we just feel that Nigerians should bear with the government in a very short period of time. If we get things in order, definitely the price of oil will still crash.
Don't you think the party shot itself in the foot when it actually agitated that there was nothing like subsidy when the PDP government were talking about subsidy?
You see, as at then, while some persons were somehow skeptical about it, was because of the lack of sincerity of that government at that time. Because that was a government that the country had so much at that time. In fact, we had the highest sales of crude oil during the era of PDP, and yet we could not see what they did with the money as at that time. So we felt that it was another ploy by the government to embezzle public funds and subjugate Nigeria and put them into more hardship.
You will agree with this medium that in terms of funds released to states from the federation account have been have been very, very high in the APC regime or government, let me put it that way. We noticed we had the Paris Club reform, the bailout fund, and what have you. There has been so much money. Even the president have been, in terms of his policy, in terms of reviving the economy, the social welfare. he's done excellently. But these monies are not getting into people's hands. This money is actually within the circulation of a certain sector. I commend the handiwork of Mr. Philip Obim, the essay to the Vice President. He has actually taken it upon himself to see how people could actually have a felt of these funds. But amidst all this, you look at the top echelon, APC members in the state. We are not seeing, a replication of this act. So for people to actually feel the social welfare package of the presidency.
Yes, you have spoken well. The challenge we have in this state, in particular, is that this state is a state controlled by the PDP government. And virtually all the social investment programs in this state, beginning from school feeding and so on, are controlled by the state government through Gabriel Okulaja and Michael Mkwabo that is in charge of this other fund of they call Survivor Fund. So PDP people are being in charge because the president is someone who sees himself as a father. So he does not believe in the issue of party. He sees himself as a Nigerian president, not as an APC president. As such, he is working with the governors from the various states and not with the party directly. And you should know, PDP is a party that over the years have been used to public funds. And when such an opportunity comes and they are not at the center, they see it as an opportunity for them to misappropriate it in order to also give Mr. President a bad image.
Talking about subsidy, sorry I'm taking you back there again. There was no refinery refurbished or even established by the PDP government. And I know that one of the policy thrusts of the Buhari administration when it came to power was to see how it can revive all as a refinery. So far, none have been revived. We have only heard of recent that about 1.something billion was going to be put to revive the Port Harcourt refinery. Now, what's the wisdom in establishing a refinery in Niger, having a rail line run to Niger, whereas we are supposed to do work on a refinery? What's the wisdom in leaving the country, Nigeria, and going that far to have an investment of this nature?
I've heard that going into that, certain factors will definitely be taken into consideration by the government in its wisdom to ensure that we have steady supply of fuel in the country. But I feel that one of those things should be because of the epileptic nature of our power supply. Because for a refinery to function, there is need for a steady power supply. And second, I also feel that the government also sees it as an avenue also to generate more money there, because there they don't have crude oil and they tend to buy from us. So if they have it there, we could sell it at a higher price and make more money. But I think what the government is doing is not just doing it there and abandoning what is here. The government is also working on other refineries in the country, and they have assured us that come December 2022, some of the refineries will be fixed.
How realistic is the 32 years proposed numbers of years of the APC government as projected recently?
No, I think the APC can stay in government beyond 32 years because the APC have done so well within the short period.
And you are very certain about this?
Yes. Yeah. If you can look at it, the APC is a party that believes in justice, unlike what Governor Ayade would say that there's injustice in the PDP.
Have you actually gone around the street and see how people are actually, they share their experiences in the APC government? Yeah,
there must be mixed feelings. But the fact about it is that the APC government have done well. If you travel from here to Obudu frequently, you agree with me that the nature, the quality, the standard of our road has improved. Under the APC, things are getting better, even if it has not been able to be replicated in the standard of living of the people. But our social infrastructure have improved. Things that could also help to generate money for the people has improved. Just last week, the government has also released money to encourage small and medium scale businesses, grant through the CBN.
Okay. Yes, talking about APC. I mean, there have been this rumor of Ayade's defection. Is it? Do you think this defection is prompted by the activity of the APC, which, according to you, have done marvelously well, or the injustice, like you said earlier, that there is a perceived injustice, or there is injustice in the PDP? What can you say about this?
First of all, I want to say that in politics, rumors are normal. Defection is part of it. In fact, even in the Nigerian constitution, everybody has a fundamental right of association. The governor is free to join any political party of his choice. Be that as it may, I'm convinced that the governor is overwhelmed by the fantastic performance of the APC-led federal government. And secondly, the governor himself has been a victim of the injustice of the PDP. As such, he is seeing the APC as a safer haven, as a more conducive environment that will enable him to perform very well as a governor. And our doors are open to welcome whoever that want to join the party, because political party is just like a church. Anybody can come in there.
If I could differ a little, you said something here that very intriguing about the performance of Governor Ayade. If my memory serves me very right, you're talking about his performance index, which weren't very okay from what you said. Now you are here to receive the governor. Should he defect?
Yes.
Now, don't you think that he's going to bring in all those negative traits that were actually part of his administration to bear when he crosses to the APC, so by giving the party a very negative name?
The fact is that some governors fail to perform based on the platform they find themselves and based on the ideology or philosophy and manifesto of their party as at that time. So we believe that with the solid foundation the APC have laid, with the wonderful ideology of the party, and with guided by the APC constitution and so on, we believe that if Ayade comes, definitely he will not be the same person he used to be when he was in the PDP.
So you are saying categorically that Ayade's poor performance is caused by the party he belongs?
Yes, I think so. Because the circumstances that led to his emergence, the funds he spent and so on to bamboozle his way through into the office of the governor must have also made him to rule the way he's ruling.
Yeah, this is Mr. Comrade Mfam Asu speaking. He's actually brought to light several issues that have been boggling the minds of Cross-Riverans, particularly the poor performance of Governor Ayade. Feel free to make your reaction when you watch this video. I will be ready to respond. Thank you so very much.